Welcome back to the Premier Racing League week in review. I'm
Oh,
assuming we're
that's
live now, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm
oh my
Cameron Arendt,
gosh,
driver of number 3.
falling apart already. Hot start, hot start. James Jackson, driver of the 29.
And Dakota Nichols, driver of the 24.
Nice of you to wake up and join us tonight, Dakota.
I know. It's been a week.
Yeah, no nap time tonight. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and get right started. We got Jackson Wade won this week. We're just gonna get right into his interview because he has another race that he's got to get to. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna drag him over real quick. All right, welcome Jackson. I believe you're here.
Hello.
How we doing,
I'm gonna
bud?
throw it over to James here.
How we doing tonight? You ready for your Nazra duel?
I am just practicing green flag pit stops.
Very important, as we know, as we learned in our own Daytona race. Uh, so first things first. What were your thoughts about Charlotte? Started on the pole and pretty much all Jackson all night.
Yeah, I mean it was a good race. Like I felt pretty comfortable for the practice that I got. Um I mean, once I put down that qualifying time, I knew that I was gonna be good enough to find pace throughout the race, and I feel like I did the best that I could and just maintained there. I wasn't cruising at all. I mean, I had Griffin up my butt almost the entire race. I was able to use that to my advantage though to save a little fuel. But I mean, other than that, I just kind of tried to manage my pace. And once I knew I was going to be in a good spot, I just kind of went along from there.
We'll talk strat here a little bit. Um, I know it was a little bit, uh, uh, a little unknown for you. After that first run, you were asking me in chat what I was doing and what you needed to hit. Um, did you have any thought on strategy prior to taking the green flag, or
Um, I mean, honestly, no. I don't really work that way. I just kind of run the first run, run the second run, and see where I end up. It's definitely gonna bite me in the butt somewhere at some point, but it hasn't yet. But usually having you on the box and some other league races, I don't really have to worry about it. So yeah, I mean, strategy was definitely leaning over my head whenever I was the first one to bite on pit road strategy. And so once I did a little bit of calculations, I was able to figure out that I needed to just do a little bit. I mean, I didn't have to do anything crazy. So I just managed what I could throughout the second and third run, and wanted to make myself comfortable on the fourth run, and that's what I did.
yeah? And I know, unfortunately, with the iRacing update, we have lost all footage from the now retired 2018 Charlotte Oval. But like right here, I would be running that second stint to where you. It seemed like you let Griffin go. Is that accurate? Did you let him go to draft him and save?
I mean, yes and no. I didn't just let him go to uh, like let him run away or just to do it for pure strategy. I mean, you could say I did it for strategy. I wanted to see what he had.
Mm-hmm.
I was saving fuel behind him, but I wanted to see what it was like running behind to see how you could make a move, because starting on pole that first run, I don't know if I can be taken advantage of. I just want to know from his perspective kind of what he was going to be doing. So I figured that saving fuel that whole entire second run, that he could have very well been doing that. So I think in the start of the third run, when I attempted a pass on him, I was like, okay, it's gonna take a little bit, or is it gonna take a mistake? And he let me have the outside, and once I repassed him, I knew that all I had to do was keep a decent gap, and I would be able to know if he was going for a move or not. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely strategy based a little bit, but it was more so just trying to see what second place felt like in the uh
In the
in the
wake.
way of trying to pass
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah. Anyone else have any questions for Jax? This is any compare on your strats other than you, Dakota, who your strat was napping.
I did have a strat. I just didn't make it.
And what was that?
Yeah.
What interested me is you and Griffin spent a lot of time running middle top, and to me that's kind of crazy because I practiced 3 to 4 hours before that race until obviously I took a nap, but I could run the bottom same pace that you guys were doing on the top, and that's I wish I could have gotten the race and like seen what that could have done, but it, it just baffled me that no one ran the bottom. It was kind of like everybody followed the leader. Leader runs to the top, everybody else goes to the top.
Yeah, I think there was definitely. I think it was doable. I think it would have taken a lot to do it for longer, which sounds odd coming from somebody who ran the wall the entire race. You know, being that close to it, and you know, you think the bottom would be easier, but especially in 3 and 4, I found myself. I found that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 were so different on the bottom. You had to drive them so differently, and there was going to be a lot of change throughout the run with the tire wear that the entry to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 on the top was borderline the same, but you know, very very similar at least. And then all I had to do was wait for the throttle. So I felt more comfortable on the top. And again, in practice, I couldn't get turned off of the bottom of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4, and so that's why I opted for the top. So I really gave absolutely zero effort to running quick time on the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I found too. I don't know if Cam, if you found the same, where especially turn 4 off of the bottom was super tight.
Yeah, I think I had a lot more trouble with turn 3 and 4. I think that's really what bit me in the butt, just not being able to really figure that out. I definitely pancaked that wall a bunch.
So you were able to run the bottom on exit of 3 and 4 Dakota?
Yeah, especially in the testing that I did, I could probably do that consistently for about 15 to 20 laps. After 20 laps, you really get into like pushing
Yeah.
off the bottom. But the way that I run the bottom at Charlotte is timing that shift almost center corner because when you downshift, it'll rotate you for exit. But if you missed your shift, I mean, it wouldn't work. So, like Jackson said,
Hold on,
it was
hold on.
You
Can I
probably
were
really
shifting?
inconsistent.
back you up?
You were shifting in 3
Yeah,
and 4?
I
yeah,
was.
That's why we
Wow.
were running the top because nobody thought
Yeah.
about shifting.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
so when I'm in fuel save and I'm clutching, I could run the bottom just fine because you're slow enough, but
Mhm.
no, especially late in the run, I had to be middle top.
Yeah. No, I never, not once did it cross my mind to overslow 3 and 4 to get to fourth gear.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
wild.
I picked that up from running the full length Coke 600 last year. If you want to run the bottom, you have to downshift mid corner to get the drive off.
Wild.
Interesting.
That's
That makes
so
sense
neat.
because I would lose in practice. Like I said, I didn't do it in the race, but in practice I was losing like 3/10 off the bottom of 3 and 4. And that's when I switched to the top lane and gained the time off.
Yep, downshift in the middle and 3 and 4 would probably even each other out because you end up upshifting back to fifth right before the start finish line anyway.
And I'd be curious just to hear because me and James were comparing back and forth. James obviously was running the bottom, and then you know occasionally he'd move up a hair or two. But his tires, he was struggling with his tires on the bottom. And I think James, correct me if I'm wrong. My lowest tire run was like 71 on the right front on the top, which surprised me for how little it was wearing, and not even just the number, but the feel of the car just felt like it balanced on the right rear deeper into the run.
Yeah, and I don't know, Dakota, how if you did a like a straight 3 hour test on our test session with the 2x weather and stuff. In the race, the temp never changed. I don't know if it changed for you in testing.
So it wasn't 3 hours straight. I did do an hour and a half though, and you're right, it doesn't change. It never really
See,
changed, but
I did on Saturday, leading into this race. I did 370 some laps of testing and uh, just trying different fuel strats, different burn strats, and um, both 200 lap sessions I did, I it started at 76 and went down to 70 by the end of the 200 laps. So when it stayed 74 for the entire race Monday, I think that affected me a little more than I expected. And like Vegas, I overcooked my strat and saved too much and never recovered. But I was shocking the temp change didn't occur.
It is kind of weird, especially because we put these sessions up so early, and you test on something for 2 weeks, and it's the same thing. It goes 76 to 70, and then all of a sudden on race day, I think it happened at Richmond too. It was colder at Richmond than what we had been testing on, but we didn't change the settings. It just naturally got colder, and I really don't know why that is.
Guess that'll be
There was
something.
definitely
Go ahead, Cam. Go
there was
ahead. Sorry.
definitely something different on Monday. I think from my testing. My testing doing the exact same thing. It would have some dramatic fall off for the first 10 laps, and then it would plateau for the rest of the run.
Yeah, that's exactly how it
In this
was.
race, it kind of just kept going, which really surprised me, and is part of the reason why I started to fall back as quickly as I did before I decided to hit the wall a bunch. But yeah, it was
See,
weird.
I didn't. That's what I was mentioning with balancing on the right rear a little bit, is running the top lane. Obviously, it being the race, I wasn't going for 29.2s right out of pit road. But if I wanted to run the top lane comfortably, I was doing like a 29.8 to a 30-second lap at the start of a run. But then I would get to 30.4 and I'd run that for 20 laps. And then I think I ran 30.5s to 6s by the time I pit. So I wonder, on the bottom, if you can run 29.7s, but if you're going to reach 30.4s by lap 15 rather than reaching 30.4 by lap 25.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing with me clutching is my goal is to run the same lap for the entire run and let you guys come back to me. And it happened at Vegas. Like I think I fell back to 6 on that first run from the pole, just clutching, and then by the time everyone pitted, I was passing Dakota for 3rd, I think, when he pitted. So, like,
Hmm.
y'all came back to me, and that just did not happen because the wear was even bad saving. So, I knew that first run in my testing was the most aggressive wear because it was the hottest, and so like I took it easy. I ran my 45 laps, and then the other thing is I saved way more fuel than I thought I would, just it being in the draft.
Hmm.
But yeah, so like the tires wore, and I think I was like 14 seconds behind, 12 seconds, 14 seconds behind Jackson and Griffin when they pitted. Um, I think I was almost a lap ahead by the time I pitted, but that was gone by the time I pitted. So,
Yeah.
Real quick, I guess we do have to touch on this since it's sitting here on the screen in front of us. Cameron, as director of the league, president, dictator, whatever, I do want to point out that Jackson was running a different league's car. So I don't know if we need to throw him out. He's got the Nazra car. I put all these time and effort into different paint schemes for him, and he won't. He runs the illegal one. It's interesting to me. I don't know.
Well,
I
last
don't
time I
know.
ran a normal paint scheme, I got booted in turn 11.
Fair play. Fair play.
This is payback. Yeah. I mean, hey, I can't fault him. They got him the victory lane on Monday.
Well, Jackson, I do know it is getting to it's 8:40 local for me, so I know your race is coming up.
Yeah,
Just want to
20 minutes.
congratulate you again on the win, getting the 3rd Jackson Ultimate Racework paint or Ultimate Racework car into the playoffs, and leave you to any parting thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good race. I had a good time. Just glad to be doing what we're doing here on Mondays. It's a good kind of pastime and have a good time with all the buddies and just run hard, have good competition, and prepare me for all the other races I do, weekly and on the weekends and things like that. So, yeah, getting a race like somebody like James who dumps you in turn 11, Dakota who runs away from you at Richmond, and Cameron who runs through you at Richmond. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's been a good time. I enjoy it, and this is a cool little concept that we're doing here. So, it's a good time and I'm enjoying it.
All right, bud. Well, we'll let you go on that, and we'll see you at Talladega on Monday.
Thanks, boys.
Good luck tonight.
All right. Thanks for joining
Thanks.
us.
Tell Wes that his singing is definitely not a detriment to the broadcast.
Hey, they're not having a broadcast tonight. No broadcast.
Oh,
He's
okay.
sick.
All right. Oh, geez. All right. Well, he's got to rest that singing voice then.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Good luck tonight. Have
Later.
fun. All right, that was
Okay.
this week's winner, Jackson Wade.
All right, I think we got through pretty much everything we probably could discuss about Charlotte there, so we'll just jump right into the results and the standings now.
Real quick, I do want to ask Dakota what your strat would have been pit wise, just since you didn't get to run it.
Well, I think it's exactly what we were just talking about earlier. I would have ran the whole race probably on the bottom, and I would have been downshifting for both corners. So I can't remember what was the fuel run, like 42 laps, or was it 39?
If you ran hard, it was you complete 39, you hit pit road at the end of 39, cross the line, fuel at 40, and that would leave you a lap or so short at the end of the race. I ran 45 on the first stint, and then I ran I think 44 on the second, and that's what killed me.
Honestly, I probably would have ran as hard as I could for the first half of the race, get to about 120, because if we're going 40-ish laps, get to 120, then worry about saving probably half a lap this run, half a lap the next run. Just because I did see that the tire wear was going to be something that if you didn't get what you could get when you could get it, it didn't matter anyway. So that's probably just same thing Jackson did. Run as hard as you can, try to get as far out as you can, and just try to hope that you have enough fuel at the end, which I think he was way good, but I probably would have been closer downshifting than he was.
Yeah, and it's funny. I told my dad leading up to it. I went to my parents' house for dinner Saturday after I did all my testing. I'm like, you can run this far, but I think the fastest strat is going to be get to your one lap good and then pit. And like he was just trying to make it all the laps, so he was running the slow strat, and that's what worked for him to get a decent finish. But and I figured it out midway that second run. I'm like, this isn't gonna work. I knew as soon as I did it, I overcooked the strat, and I wasn't coming back without a yellow, and we just get too spread out with that small.
See, I
Which
was
is the
actually
unfortunate thing when you have a race like that where you need a caution, we don't get one, and then when you have a race where you don't want one, you
Yeah,
get them.
for sure.
So
I was actually very intrigued by what you were doing that second run because you stayed out like an extra 6 or 7 laps, and I tried it the next run because I saw you were just driving through the field just by having those 5, 6 lap pressure tires, but I think just the gap wasn't enough.
The gap wasn't enough, and the fall off was too much. Like even saving,
Hmm.
I was only like 3/10 faster. It's like when they were 10 laps into a run, so then I got to 10 laps into a run, it was even. So um, again, Vegas, the fall off was more aggressive for the guys going for it and not for me. Like I was constantly like I think at the end of the run at Vegas I was 75 on the right front. I was 50 by the time I got done Monday night. So just didn't work out. Wish I had that one back, but I did. I ran I think 6 laps longer than Griffin, who was leading at that time, and 3 of those 6 laps were 31s. So that's just that kills you. So
Hmm. Yep. All right, well, I think we can just head into the results and standings here.
oh no, don't put those standings on the screen. Don't do it.
let's we'll go here. We'll go to this was heading into Charlotte. It was a 37-point lead for Dakota, and then he slept through stage points, and he has dropped to 4th.
Oh boy.
8 points behind myself and Miguel. Great job by Miguel, man. He's just been consistent, and he has been top 3 all season in points.
Yep. He was there all race and really capitalized on those stage points, especially that last stage there where I got a little bit behind. Was able to get him, catapult him ahead of me, especially with me finishing 9th in that race.
Yeah, did you just break the toe link?
I did it a couple times. So, ironically, coming to pit road the second time, I was letting Jackson by actually, and let him by, and then went to go down to pit road. It was either Jackson or Griffin, but I was letting him by, and was like, oh, I don't need to say anything about going to pit road because they just passed me. And I look in my mirror and I saw the bright orange Ford Mustang of Jim Jackson, uh, and could not get out that I was pitting quick enough, and ended up. I already had damage at that point, a little bit of wheel damage, but went straight into that little pit wall that they have there at Charlotte,
You Larson the
and I
barrels.
guess yeah, and I guess I sped in the pits from it,
Oh,
and then I guess somehow I got an unsafe pit entry. So I guess me hitting the wall,
oh,
that's technically off of the pit road, and so
yeah.
when I came back on, gave me a penalty for that. So I had another like a minute and a half penalty,
Oof.
and that just put me down. I just couldn't get back, and for the rest of the race, I was just trying to get the fastest lap from that point, and just finishing the race at that point.
Yeah.
But I was way too far behind.
Yeah. I know my dad was messing with his turning off the fast repair on that first stop and hammered the wall and destroyed the toe link, and it had to take the fast repair after that.
It'd be real embarrassing if you hit the wall again, trying to put it
Yeah.
back on.
Yeah. So, all right.
No, but that's what happened to me though.
I will say, unfortunately, and artificially, I've made a points race out of this halfway through the season.
All I
Only
know.
4 races left.
All I know is that this is the second season where I've left this Charlotte with the points lead in a row. So
Let's hope it turns out
We're
differently
not
for
going
you
to
this
talk about
season.
the last. Oh man, I did
We can
not
talk.
like you after that race.
yeah. Again, I not at all intent, but I just needed a little bit
No,
of
dude.
patience on
Honestly,
your
it's one
end.
of those things. Yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. You go back and look at it now, and it's like I didn't have to go for that. I don't even know why I did. I just did.
You had like 15 lap fresher tires, dude. I don't know what you were
That's
doing
why I
trying
did
to
it.
split. You were trying to split two people with old tires, and all you had to do was push the dude past me and get him in one. And
Well, I've always been a.
I
I've
know
always tried to.
if whole take, but
Well, that's the thing. I never go away from that. So like, if there's a hole, I take it, and I always race that way. You know that way, kind of like make your presence felt. You're gonna know I'm here, kind of thing.
yeah.
And I screwed myself that time. So
Yeah, I mean, that was one race that I missed in that season, and I was looking at the results, and I was like, there's no faces that I recognize in the top 5. I really could have used that race, but to be honest, it kind of was benefit the fact that you guys did have that little incident because I had a little bit less of a points deficit from that.
If I didn't get into it with Frank, I would have picked up my second win there, and Reddick wouldn't have made the playoffs. Because I
True.
finished P2 by what, half a second or something like that. So
yeah, you could have been in the championship race, but Watkins Glen happened. I won't go into detail about that, but you know what
boy,
I'm talking about.
boy, I was
Hey,
testing on the new Watkins Glen today in the next gen, and it's not fun. It's tricky.
well,
Oh, is it?
we're-
Did they change it?
They got rid of a lot of the off tracks. Like turn 1, you can run completely wide open, like they do in Cup.
Oh,
I don't really know if I will though, to be honest. I don't know if it's faster or
It's
not.
sketchy. It's sketchy.
it's sketchy, but it's way faster. That's why me and Jackson were talking about turning like 109s there now.
Yeah, it's you hop those curbs and it'll jump on you. So, but yeah, they got
I
rid of
will
the off
say
tracks there and at Coda.
I mean, hey, while we're talking about other leagues, I will say I'm undefeated against Dakota at Homestead.
All
I
right.
saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that one either.
Oh
Well,
man.
I would between Watkins Glen and then Cameron forcing Jeff Gilmore to wreck me at Homestead. Might have had a shot.
Homestead,
You
me
were
and
nowhere near
Homestead,
me at Homestead, bro.
No, I know
dude,
Jeff.
me and
Jeff wrecked
Homestead
me.
don't get along.
Oh man.
Me and the
That was
playoff format don't get along.
No,
I tell you what, I will choke a championship away. Like I have finished last in both of the Truck Series playoff races already.
Dakota's a
I
full
don't know.
season points truther.
Yeah, 100%. Get rid of the playoffs.
Hey, I mean, hey, you didn't finish last yesterday. There was one guy that didn't start the race that was behind you.
No, I finished last because he didn't start. That didn't
That does,
count.
yeah, I learned that at Watkins Glen. If you don't start, it doesn't count.
Yeah. Which I'm actually surprised by because you made a couple corners on the pace lap, but
Not enough.
not
enough.
enough corners on the pace lap. No.
Oh,
man.
yikes.
Oh, it's bad. It's not as bad. I wrecked immediately in Bristol the next week, so
Well, no, that is bad because if I would have started, I would have gotten points. I wouldn't have needed. Yeah, anyway, I only missed by a
yeah.
handful of points.
All he had to do was cross the line. That's all he had to do.
My dad was going to start and park me at Bristol if it was a points battle.
Jeez.
I had taught him how to do
Oh,
it,
man.
and then they were like, "Yeah, James got 0 points at Watkins Glen." I'm like, "Oh, you don't have to worry about it."
All right.
Speaking
Well,
of
going back to
playoffs,
the PRL, we've got 4 more races here for the
yeah,
playoffs. Speaking of these races, now that the update for iRacing is up, I believe Talladega and Darlington sessions are both up. Martinsville, I forgot to put up, and so I will put that up tonight. Heck, I'll put up Indianapolis too. So we've got 2 more crown jewels, unless you count Bristol Night Race as a crown jewel. And then we'll have 3. But we got 2 more crown jewels in Darlington and Indianapolis. Darlington is a little bit less than halfway, which is our normal crown jewel length, as you can see with the Charlotte 300 and Daytona of 250. However, that's a lot of laps at Darlington,
I
so
was
I figure
gonna
we'll get.
I was gonna pitch that we should bump it to the 250.
We'll see. Well, we might have a little announcement for you guys next week before Darlington, but we'll see.
Wait, what
For right
race are we
now,
talking about?
Darlington. Since we're treating crown jewels at 50%, except for Darlington, I was like, we might as well bump it to the 50%.
Oh, we're going Darlington 250. Oh God.
I think it
Well,
makes sense, but if
all
it
right.
we
Well,
can
we
put it
hear
to a
it here
vote.
first. Let's see. How many more laps is that? 50.
It would, yeah, 50 more laps. It would make
50
sense. I
more
think
laps.
I'd really like that. But when I like Darlington and Homestead coming up, I suck. I suck. That's all
Well,
there is to it.
so I had
Oh,
three propositions for the schedule, and it can be put to a vote, or Dictator Cam can shut it down right here, right now. I say
yep. Nope. Never mind. You don't even need to start. No, I'm kidding.
my three propositions were Darlington 50% because it's a crown jewel. Homestead 200 miles as the finale. I think it's 8 more laps. I don't know. It just
Um,
I don't
yeah.
know. And then the other one was, and Dakota, plug your ears. You're not gonna like this. Get rid of Martinsville. Move it to either Michigan
Objection.
or something like that, because Martinsville would be our 4th short track of the regular season, and then we have 2 in the playoffs if you count Phoenix. So I don't know. I thought like another intermediate or like a Michigan would be, because like Michigan rules in this car. So I don't know. Again, we can put it to a vote, or if you're happy with the schedule, it was just my 2 cents.
Yep. Here's what we'll do. We'll do Darlington at 250 miles, or not 200. Is it 200? Yeah, it is
250.
250. And then we'll do Homestead at 200 because it's not really going to change much anyway. So we'll just do that anyway, just to make it even. And we'll put a vote up with 4 different tracks after this. We'll discuss after this which tracks we want to put in that. At least Martinsville and Michigan will be on there, and then we'll figure out 2 different tracks, and everybody in the league vote on that, and then we'll decide from there whichever track wins that is what track that is going to be. If it's an intermediate, then we'll set it to, well, Michigan will be different. That'll be probably 100 laps, but we'll see. We'll decide that, but we'll set it to our normal laps, given that it's not a crown jewel.
Yeah,
But we'll put up a poll.
it's just something to
Can I
think
vote
about.
twice?
Yeah,
All right.
if you hack Ed or Brandon's Discord, you can
Perfect.
take their votes. I don't know. Like I said, it's just that's a
Yeah.
like even if you don't count Phoenix, it's still 5 out of 14 short tracks. So, just my
Yep.
thoughts.
Yep. I understand. I didn't really realize it was that many, to be honest. And so we'll switch them around. And just letting everybody know, we are, or at least I am, currently working on next season's schedule. So if you have any suggestions or things that you want to maybe see in that schedule, either pop me a DM or say something in the PRL chat, and we'll look at doing that possibly. But then to go on, so we got Darlington, Martinsville, question mark, and then Indianapolis, another crown jewel, so 50%, 80 laps there. And then Bristol, Watkins Glen, and Phoenix in the playoffs. I'll go back to the All-Star race here in a second. And then we got Homestead, the finale. So another reminder too, that those playoff races, they are um, no winning you're in to the championship. It's straight points. So you can't win Bristol and then not show up the next 2 weeks and still make Homestead. You're gonna have to continue to race.
Now that
I
with
do
our
like that better.
yeah, and I was gonna say with our small group and tight points, it'll be interesting. It'll be a tight 4-person pack there. I think the cut line's going to be interesting for all 3 races. Excuse me.
Absolutely, and then you can't forget that we will have an off week between Indianapolis and the start of the playoffs at Bristol. That will be the All-Star race, however. That is a money race or iRacing credit race. So there will be iRacing credits, which more information will follow in terms of that. However, that race is not required to, or it's not a point race. So if you have to miss that one, you can. But we're trying to make that one fun, so it'll be couple inverts on things. We went over that last week. I believe it's also in the PRL chat if you need a refresher, though.
Yeah, I know I will not be at the qualifying for that, the Fast Friday for that, but we'll see about Monday. I have a wedding that I'm in that weekend.
That's not important. Anyway,
iRacing.
my
Not
fiance can
important.
not and ignore that I said that. She is in the chat. All right, so I think unless you guys have anything else to say about the schedule, the upcoming schedule here, we can head into a short little recap of the races we have. Oh, we got the statistics, and then we'll
I do.
head into a couple of recaps.
This has been. Dakota could take a nap and maintain his laps led record. Just look at that. That's absolute domination between Richmond and Vegas.
A lot of laps led there at Richmond for Dakota. Well, 189 out of 200. Most of mine came at North Wilkesboro that race. Jackson led almost every lap, so
Yeah, he led 52,
bunch of laps there.
52 at Sonoma before I got him, and then 160 Monday night.
Bunch of laps.
So
Which you would never guess that those laps mostly came from a intermediate track, but when you got a 200 lap race, that happens.
I do want to shout
We got
out
Jim. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I do want to shout out Griffin for making me look really good. He put all the pressure on Jackson on Monday, and I had picked him last week to win Charlotte. So
Believe it or not, Griffin proved it is possible to not sniff Jackson's bumper. And by sniff, I mean slam your face full forwards into it.
If he would have caught him, he might have.
Yeah, all right. And then we've got Jim Jackson, despite only leading 4 laps, gets that win at Daytona and locked himself in.
Jim leads them when they matter.
Yeah, he does. And
Exactly.
yeah, he is one either repeat winner or again himself again at Dega from completely locking himself in. Just no mathematical way he could get out at that point. But I don't think points are going to be a factor unless he misses a race.
No, I don't think so.
No, they should. I will say, with this double points and the way Griffin ran, got his stage points and everything, if he's as consistent at Charlotte as he was, or if he does that the rest of the season, I mean, we're talking Griffin sneaks in. 68 points sounds like a lot, but if he can top 3 this thing on the way out, I mean, you're talking about a tight race for 8th.
Yep. I mean, if I'm Brandon or Richard here, I'm not necessarily comfortable.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I think it's going to take miss in a race just because it's not like Brandon or Richard could run 20th, but
Hmm.
I don't think you can make
Yep.
up. I'd love to play. This is going to get tight, but without somebody missing a race, I don't. You're only making up 10 points a race.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, Griffin's been top 5 in every race he's run with us, so
Oh yeah,
I would also consider he might win one and get himself in, and that'll bump somebody out. So I really think that we can get that winner, and that battle will be
yes,
real tight for that playoff cut line between Brandon and Richard, and
yes.
potentially even Miguel if he can't get a win. But I expect him to get a win before the season ends, as good as he runs at some tracks.
Griffin or McGill. If neither one of them don't get a win, I'd be surprised.
Exactly.
Alrighty, we can. Do we recap or do we just go into Talladega preview?
We'll quickly just go through the burnout pictures, but I think we talked about all of them for the most part. So this is Jim winning his first race, Dakota in the wall back there after running out of gas.
Oh, he didn't
That
run
was
out
a
of
fun
gas.
race. Oh no, he did. He did run out, but he also got hit.
Yeah, no, he threw a Ryan Newman double block on there on Jim
Oh
there.
no, I forgot to. That's the one key piece of information I left out. I ran out of gas, and I threw a block because I did. That's what made my
Oh,
block so bad.
okay, that changes the math a little bit.
I will say before we go too far, I just saw your message there, Griffin. We are nixing that rule, so you can still make the playoffs.
I was just responding to him. Yeah.
Yep. I tried to pull a Ricky Stenhouse and Carl Edwards at Iowa. That's what I tried to do.
Yeah. No, you pulled the Ryan Newman instead.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that makes more sense as to the run he got, I guess.
Yep. Jim saved the most fuel there, and then we had Dakota winning in Las Vegas. Ran out of gas, so another picture of him crossing the line. No burnout from this race either.
No, I gave him a little assistance getting back to the line. That was like Dakota said, I oversaved in that one and couldn't overcome it.
Yeah, I think you were the only one with gas.
Early race mishap in this race got me past Dakota, and led the rest of the way from there.
That's the race I missed. It looked like it would
Dakota.
be fun.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind running that back next season with the new North Wilkesboro.
Yep, absolutely. We had a little bit of trouble with that pit road, and now that they
Yeah, so
update that, it
tight.
might be a little easier.
And the aforementioned bump and run.
Yep, yep. Bump and run is interesting term for it, but
Punt and pass.
but definitely,
Punt and pass.
I
I
will
don't know.
say it's my favorite burnout of the season. It's very very picturesque.
Yeah, the wine country hills help for sure.
They did. I'll tell you what, we won't call it the bump and run. We'll call it the middle finger out the window.
By who?
Both.
All right. Then we had Dakota winning again at Richmond, the first repeat winner, the only repeat winner this season. Led almost every race or lap, not race, as we've discussed before.
And then finally,
And then most recent, we had Jackson winning this past Monday at Charlotte. Unfortunately, iRacing decided to retire the track, so couldn't get the replay, but wanted to highlight again his dominance in that race.
Real quick, James, you're trying to get botted in the chat here.
I see that. I was actually thinking about buying some cheap viewers. What do you guys think?
Oh, man.
I don't know, man. Seems like a scam. You do you.
Dakota, can I borrow your credit card?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They pop
All
up
right,
every
guys, we got.
race.
All right, guys. So we got Talladega 200 coming up on Monday. A little bit shorter than the Daytona 500. It's 75 laps, 199.5 miles. Any predictions, strategy, stuff like that for this race?
I think
I
strength.
think,
Oh, go ahead, Dakota.
or
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, James.
No,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. You're better at strategy than I am. You go ahead.
See, and I think this is where it's going to play into you. I don't think strategy comes into play unless we get the cautions we had at Daytona. Um, I don't know. I don't know what a fuel run is, and it's hard to test that without a pack. If we get the cautions like we did at Daytona, we might have another fuel parade, which was I thought hilarious and a blast. But
Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you're in them, not necessarily watching them.
yeah, so I think it's just going to be. We'll find out as we're running how much fuel we burn and what we need, and it'll be get to that last pit stop, and it'll be game on.
I will say we did have less fuel for Daytona. That was when we still had 60% fuel. We now have 63%. In 60% fuel, you could get about 23, 24 laps. I'll be interested to see if it's even going to be a factor with fuel if it ends up going green. I don't necessarily
It
see
could
it
be.
going green, but we should be able to make it just on straight up two-stop race.
Unless you
But
lead
it
the
has to be
entire
this.
thing.
True. If
Yeah.
you eat the entire thing, you're not going to make it. So maybe some strategy if we get some teammates or people that are friendly at least, trying to shuffle each other out, save some gas. But it'll be real interesting. I think that we should be able to be a little bit less straightforward, especially if we get some like early caution or something like that. It'll make it a little easier even for the leader.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, I think that green flag pit stops is really going to be real, I guess, yellow flag. I don't know. We had a couple cautions from green flag pit stops in that Daytona, so definitely looking forward to it though. I guess. Do you guys have any predictions? Who do we think's going to victory lane?
Um, I'm just gonna do this because I missed this week. Me.
well, yeah. If we're picking ourselves, then yes, I'm
Yeah.
going back to
All
back
right.
between F and X in here. If we're gonna go with the way we did it last time, where we don't pick ourselves, um, Cam, you were in position during the F and X race
And our race at
and
Daytona.
Daytona. Yeah.
Me and Dakota decided to wreck each other.
yeah. Dad didn't help you either. There, Jim didn't help you either. You were
No.
all darting back and forth. Um, you know what? Jim locks himself in with his second win.
I like that pick. I'll give my more serious pick here, and I said it last week, and he was in the mix for a little bit. He just couldn't save the tires, but Brandon's sneaky good at super speedways. He knows how to kind of tuck in, save a little bit more fuel than most. He knows when to go and when not to go. Um, I look for him to be in position, especially if the leaders try to wreck themselves.
Has he did that in the Misfits race a couple weeks ago. Me and Dakota decided to wreck each other. Well, I guess more so I decided to wreck Dakota. Brandon snuck by for a win. Yes, he is. I actually spotted a Daytona or Talladega race for him last night, and he knows how to manipulate the runs and knows where he needs to be, so I can see that happening. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say Griffin. I think that he's there. He's gonna be there. He's really smart with strategy. I can see him getting the win, and especially knowing that he might need to win to make the playoffs.
I like it.
Hey, well, I think unless you guys have anything else, I think that's about all we had to cover this week.
Oh, I do have one more thing. I'm pretty sure we did it at Daytona, but I'm just going to go ahead and let them know now. Qualifying at Talladega, keep all four tires above the yellow line, please.
Yes, yes. We will be watching if there's some suspicious lap times. Um, but yeah, so yep. So got Talladega next week. Looking forward to seeing you guys all there. If you have any questions or any suggestions, like we said, shoot any of us a DM or just text the PRL chat and we'll try to get you an answer. Also, pay attention to the chat. We'll have that poll to see if we need to switch up the Martinsville race. That'll probably go up here 15, 20 minutes, depending on how long it takes us to decide what races or what tracks are going to go in there. But in closing, you guys got anything you want to say before we head out?
Dakota, take more Monday night naps. That was.
Yes, please.
I'll think about it.
I'm tired of running into you at super speedway, so I'll take it this time.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
come
not
on.
just super speedways. If you see me and Cameron anywhere near each other on the racetrack, just get ready for a wreck.
Yeah, one or both of us is gonna wreck. All right, well, that's the show for you guys this week. A little bit less racing, a little bit more just talking about what's going on. Hopefully, iRacing won't decide to screw us, and we'll have a little replay to show you guys next week at Talladega. So, thanks for checking in on us, and we'll check in on you next week.